Breaking. Trump threatens to annex Canada as State 51. Carney's secret deal crushes him and redefines North America forever. Just in, Donald Trump has crossed every red line imaginable. He's not just talking tariffs anymore, he's openly threatening to annex Canada and turn our entire sovereign nation into America's 51st state. But Mark Carney is not panicking. He's already executed a secret, multi-billion-dollar diplomatic and economic masterstroke that could permanently shift the balance of power across North America. This is no ordinary trade spat. This is a full-scale assault on Canada's independence, and Carney is turning it into the greatest comeback story in modern history. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will change how you see the future of this continent forever. But wait, Trump didn't slip this threat in a quiet interview. He shouted it from rally stages across America. Canada would be better off as our 51st state, he declared, grinning like he'd just closed the deal of the century. He talks about our oil sands in Alberta, our nickel and lithium in Ontario, our freshwater lakes that hold 20% of the world's supply, as if they already belong to him. He's fantasizing about erasing the 5,525-mile border, converting Ottawa into a provincial capital, and making every Canadian citizen pay federal taxes to Washington. This isn't idle chatter. This is a deliberate, repeated provocation backed by escalating tariffs, economic blackmail, and relentless pressure designed to force Canada to its knees. Here's the kicker. Trump's annexation obsession isn't a recent invention. It's been simmering in his mind since his first term. Remember when he tried to buy Greenland from Denmark for national security? Remember when he joked about invading Mexico to stop drugs and migrants? Remember when he floated taking over the Panama Canal? Now Canada is firmly in his crosshairs. He sees our $2.1 trillion economy, our $1.5 to $2 trillion in untapped critical minerals, our control over North America's energy corridors, and he wants it all under the stars and stripes. In 2026, with his tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, lumber, dairy, and energy hitting record levels, the threat feels more real than ever. American manufacturers are howling in pain, consumer prices are surging, and Trump is pointing the finger at Canada for not paying their fair share. He's transforming the longest undefended border in human history into a potential economic war zone. And get this. If Trump somehow forced annexation, the consequences for Canada would be apocalyptic. Overnight, every Canadian would fall under U.S. federal jurisdiction, our universal health care dismantled, our strict gun laws overturned, our official bilingualism erased. Billions in Canadian Crown assets seized by Washington, millions of jobs redirected to U.S. corporations, our military folded into the Pentagon chain of command. Our provinces would lose their autonomy, our Supreme Court would be subordinate to the U.S. Supreme Court, and our cultural identity, English and French, would be swallowed whole. Trump calls it unification, or a merger of equals. But the world sees it for exactly what it is: 21st century imperialism dressed up as economic necessity. He's betting that Canada will crack under sustained economic pressure. He's betting on the wrong country because Mark Carney has already begun the counteroffensive. This is where it gets insane. Mark Carney didn't respond with fiery speeches, emotional outbursts, or desperate appeals to the United Nations. He's playing four-dimensional chess while Trump is stuck on checkers. In quiet rooms in Ottawa, Carney has been orchestrating a massive, multi-continent economic realignment, one that completely sidelines the United States. He's negotiating blockbuster trade agreements with the European Union, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia, and even selective partnerships with China, redirecting tens of billions in Canadian exports away from America every single year. Trump's punishing tariffs? Carney is transforming them into golden opportunities. Canada is rapidly becoming the preferred global supplier for critical resources. But wait, The real genius of Carney's secret strategy lies in critical minerals, the rare earth elements and battery metals that power the modern world. Canada controls some of the largest untapped reserves on Earth: lithium in Quebec, nickel in Manitoba, cobalt in Ontario, graphite in Newfoundland, trillions of dollars worth. America currently relies on Canada for over 90% of its rare earth processing and supply chain access. Trump thought tariffs would force Canada to sell cheap and stay dependent. Instead, Carney is redirecting these strategic resources to America's competitors: Europe, Japan, South Korea, and India, at premium prices. U.S. battery factories are already facing shortages, electric vehicle production is slowing, defense contractors are panicking, and Trump's America First policy is turning into America Last in real time. Here's the kicker. This isn't just an economic pivot, this is full-scale geopolitical reordering. Carney's deals are forging unbreakable alliances that Trump cannot penetrate. European leaders now openly call Canada the stable, predictable partner, while describing the United States as erratic and unreliable. Asian investors are pouring tens of billions into Canadian mining projects, ports, and technology hubs, completely bypassing U.S. tariffs, sanctions, and political risk. Trump dreamed of annexing Canada, but Carney is quietly annexing global economic confidence and strategic trust. He's making Canada indispensable while making America optional in the eyes of the world. And get this, Trump is losing his mind inside the White House right now. His most powerful donors, big oil executives, tech billionaires, auto industry titans, are flooding his phone lines with fury. U.S. stock markets are tumbling as supply chains reroute through Canada and Asia. Billions evaporating daily from American balance sheets. Trump's grand State 51 vision is morphing into the biggest political and economic humiliation of his career. He's threatening even higher tariffs, secondary sanctions, maybe even military posturing along the border. But every desperate move he makes only accelerates Carney's victory. This is where it gets insane. Carney's long-term plan could permanently redefine the power structure of North America. Canada is no longer content to be the polite neighbor or junior partner. We're emerging as the dominant economic and diplomatic force on the continent. The United States is becoming increasingly dependent on Canadian goodwill for critical resources, energy corridors, and strategic minerals, not the other way around. Trump's reckless annexation rhetoric has achieved the opposite of what he intended. It has united Canadians behind Carney like never before. His approval ratings are soaring to historic highs. The nation is more cohesive and determined than at any point in modern history. But wait, the clock is ticking louder every day for Donald Trump. His threats are backfiring on a global stage. World leaders are openly laughing at the State 51 fantasy. Carney's secret agreements are being finalized one after another, billions in new trade flowing into Canada every single week. Trump is left with only three disastrous options. 1. Back down publicly and look unbelievably weak to his base. 2. Escalate further and risk losing even more allies, markets, and credibility. 3. Sit helplessly and watch Canada rise to claim the leadership role he thought was his forever. Here's the kicker. Every single time Trump issues another reckless threat, Canada's global standing rises higher. We are rapidly becoming the safe harbor in the gathering American storm. The international media is filled with praise for Carney's calm, surgical genius, while Trump's chaotic emotional outbursts are becoming a global punchline. The story of American decline is being written in real time, and Canada is emerging as the new, steady leader of North America. And, get this, the world will remember exactly who stood tall during this crisis. Trump's empire of bluster, threats, and ego is crumbling before our eyes. Canada's vision of competence, stability, strategic foresight, and principled leadership is rising stronger every day. This is Mark Carney's defining legacy, outsmarting the self-proclaimed master dealmaker at his own game and winning decisively. Canada strong. Canada winning. Canada leading the free world into the future. Hit subscribe right now if you're stunned by Trump's monumental blunder. Turn on the bell. The next explosive expose on Trump's collapsing empire is coming very soon. Canada is winning this historic fight, and the entire world is watching in awe. We will see you in the next video. Don't miss it.